Hi everyone, welcome to my very first flipped classroom video. Now, this week we are going to learn about apples. Apples are super good. Who loves to bring apples for snack or for lunch? I know that lots of us bring apples for snack. What is your favorite way to eat apples? Is it just a plain cut up apple? Is it maybe apple pie or applesauce? I think that my favorite way is apple pie. We're going to start off today by reading a book about apples. It's called Apples for Everyone. Now remember, this part of the book is called the title. The person who wrote the words is Jill Esbaum. When I say this person wrote the words, they're called the author. The author. This part of the story is called the front cover. This part is called the front cover. When I flip it over, this is the back cover right here, the back cover. The last part of the book is the spine, which is right here. It holds the book together. Okay, so the title is Apples for Everyone. Seen any apples lately? Early each year, in orchards and backyards, apple trees bloom. Drawn by the sweet smell, bees buzz from blossom to blossom. As time passes, petals flutter to the grass, and fuzzy bumps appear. Slowly the baby apples grow bigger, turning all shades of red, a glowing green, or a cheerful yellow. So there's red apples. There can also be green apples or yellow apples. At last it's fall, harvest time, and fresh apples are everywhere. Grocery stores, farmers markets, roadside stands. You might even climb a ladder to pick your own. Your teeth sink in, crunch, and tart sweet juice dribbles down your chin. When you bite into an apple, that's what sound it makes, is crunch. That's one of our 5 senses. You can hear that it sounds like crunch. People bob for apples at Halloween parties or dip them into melted caramel for a sweet, gooey treat. Apples may be baked into pies and cinnamony desserts, or added to a yummy Thanksgiving stuffing. Some are cooked into thick applesauce or crushed to make juice. On a chilly night, a steaming mug of tangy cider chases away goosebumps. Apple trees have been growing in America for hundreds of years, since colonists brought pips or apple seeds from England. So there's a bunch of apple trees in a row. When most of America was still unsettled, a pioneer named John Chapman spent his summers hiking through the wilderness, planting apple seeds wherever he went. His nickname was Johnny Appleseed. And we're going to learn about Johnny Appleseed in just a few days. So Johnny Appleseed, he loved apples, and he planted a lot of the first apple trees in our country. An apple's seeds lie in its core. Cut an apple crosswise and you'll see the shape of a star. So there's the inside part of an apple. It's called the core. And if you cut it a certain way, it can look just like a star. Each of the star pockets has 1 or 2 seeds sleeping inside. Americans eat more apples than any other fruit. She's eating a red apple right here. There are many flavors to choose from, with names like Fuji, Gala, Granny Smith, Honeycrisp, Jonathan, Macintosh, Pink Lady, and Red Delicious. Have you found your favorite? Look at all these different colored apples. Dark red, red and yellow, yellow, and this one is green. Ah, love at first bite. So on this page, we saw some parts of an apple. Right here, this is the core, and here are the seeds. And this part in here that you can eat, the yellowish white part, is called the flesh. Okay, and I brought a real apple to show you what the different parts are. So this part, on the outside, the red part, is called the skin. The skin. I brought a red apple. It's called a Red Delicious, but there's many different colors of apples. But the outside part that's pretty crunchy is called the skin. Now this part right at the top that used to hang from the apple trees is called the stem. The stem. It used to hang on the tree, and some apples don't have their stems anymore. This one has stem, and it's brown. The stem. Now I cut open an apple, and inside you can see the different parts that we haven't seen so far. So here's the outside, here's the skin, here's the stem. On the inside, this part, the yellowish white part, is called the flesh. It's called the flesh. This middle part right here, we cannot eat this part, it does not taste good, is called the core. So when you cut an apple, you want to cut all out, the whole core, and just eat the outside part right here. This whole middle part is called the core. This part right in the middle is called the seeds. The seeds. You can see the brown seed right there. There's just one or two in this. You can see right here, but there's the seed. So we have the skin, the stem, the flesh, the core, and the seeds. Now, I am going to draw the different parts of an apple on this page so that we can see in the picture what the different parts of the apple are. So first, I'm going to draw my apple. And I'm going to shade it in red. And this red part right here, remember, is called the skin. The skin. S-K-I-N. The skin. And remember that there is a brown part that comes out of the top right here. Comes out of the top right there, and that is called the stem. S-T-E-M. The stem. So there's the stem and there's the skin. That's the outside of the apple. Now, I'm going to pretend like I just cut open the apple. So you can see the inside. Now, here's the inside of my apple right here. Who remembers what this part is called? It's called the core. The core, right in the middle, the part that we can't eat. And then I'm going to add the seeds right here. We can't eat the seeds either, but they can be used to plant trees. So there's the core. And then that yellowish white part that's on the inside, I'm going to color that in a nice yellow so you can see it, is called the flesh. And remember, we can eat the flesh, and we can eat the skin, but we can't eat other parts. So this is the seed, S-E-E-D, the seed. And then right here is called the core, C-O-R-E. the core. The last part we need to label. That yellowish part in there that you can eat is called the flesh. F-L-E-S-H. So here's our skin, our stem, our flesh, our seeds, and our big core right there. Now, when we get back to class tomorrow, we're going to do an activity where we're going to fill in all the different parts of the apple. Okay, I think that you guys can do a great job filling in the parts of an apple. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts of an apple, so we're going to fill those in tomorrow. Last thing we're going to talk about is, what do you think will happen to this apple? And I have another piece right here. What do you think will happen if I leave this cut out apple out all night before we go back to class tomorrow? Will it start dying? Will it stay intact so you can still eat it? Will it get really soft? Will it change colors? Sometimes when fruit or vegetables get cut open and they get left out, they're not good to eat anymore. And they start decaying. So that's a new word that we're learning, is decay. Decay. It might not be okay to eat anymore, and it might start dying. So we'll see tomorrow what happens to the apple when it's left out all night. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that story and learning about the parts of an apple. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow to see what you've learned. Bye.